All right, welcome into the postgame show, everybody. Dan Tanner, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Nuggets lose to the Thunder 127-103 is the final. Look, this game was actually really close throughout, and then the Nuggets just absolutely fell apart in that fourth quarter. They get outscored 41-20 in the fourth quarter. First of all, I thought the refs were absolutely garbage in this game. They were just let these guys play, number one, because it was like the Nuggets had, 9 fouls in the third quarter? That was absolutely insane. But look, I mean, the Nuggets had their chances in this game, and then they just absolutely fell apart in that fourth quarter. I thought the third actually was pretty decent, at least defensively, for the Denver Nuggets. They went to that zone and they got, multiple stops, consecutive stops in that third quarter. But then the Thunder just sort of figured it out in that fourth, and they couldn't stop Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I will say, again, this does not help Nikola Jokic's MVP chances with this 40-point game from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, obviously, one of the big stories in today's game was Aaron Gordon, calf strain, out after the first quarter. I think it was 5 minutes in to the first quarter. That's really concerning if you're a Nuggets fan, because they just simply are a different defensive team when Aaron Gordon is not in this game. And we saw that go through. And then the other concern is, Isaiah Hartenstein pushes Joker down to the floor and he hurts his elbow. Look, Nikola Jokic didn't have a bad game, but you could tell that he was not the same after he went down with that elbow injury. So look, these two teams play again tomorrow night, and I'd be very interested to see if Nikola Jokic ends up playing in tomorrow night's game. I would not be surprised at all if that is not the case. But that was a very tough loss for the Denver Nuggets. Now, on the positive side, I thought Michael Porter Jr. actually had one of his better games post All-Star break. He was 10 of 19 from the field, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 15 rebounds, which is outstanding, and 24 points. But here's the thing with MPJ, okay? He was a minus 33 in today's game, which is just wild. I mean, Joker was a minus 13, Jamal was a minus 17, Christian Brown minus 13, but Aaron Gordon was a plus 4 in his 7 minutes. So really, once Aaron Gordon went out, I thought the dynamics of this game really changed, and Oklahoma City just took advantage of the Nuggets because Aaron Gordon going out really hurt this team's defensive strategy on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, look, Chet Holmgren got in foul trouble early, and he hit Russell Westbrook in the face. No call there. That's, again, just a ridiculous no call by the refs in Oklahoma City. But, man, it was just a tough watch because there were so many foul calls in today's game on both ends of the floor. But, my goodness, it was just a very tough watch today because the refs just would not let these guys play. So that was a little frustrating for me. But, let me know in the comments how you felt on that as well. But I tell you what, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he is absolutely legit. 40 points on 15 of 32 shots for Shai. He only hit 2 of 11 threes, and he gets 40 points. Now, he did get to the free throw line, 8 of 8 from the free throw stripe for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But, yeah, somebody said in the comments, this pretty much ended. Let's see here. Tony B says the Joker's MVP just went out the window. Yeah, unless something crazy happens in the last couple of weeks of the season, that's pretty much a wrap on Joker's MVP performance. But which is insane because we just came off the first ever 30, 20, and 20 game in NBA history. Now, if you just look at the stats and the analytics, Nikola Jokic is having far and away a better season than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But the Thunder are far and away the best team in the West. And I think that's going to factor in to the MVP conversation. But, it's just, this was a tough loss for the Denver Nuggets. They were, like I said, they were absolutely in this game through the first three quarters. And they just absolutely fell apart in that fourth quarter, giving up 41 points, only scoring 20. This was a weird game for me, too, because I thought other than the fourth quarter, the Nuggets were actually okay defensively. They just could not get their offense going in this game. I mean, Christian Braun had a really good first half. In fact, he had 15 points at halftime. They really shut him down in the second half. He had 4 points in that second half after having 15 in the first. So Oklahoma City made the adjustments that they needed to, and Denver just could not get it going on the offensive end. But I'm telling you, after Nikola Jokic hurt his elbow, you could tell something was off. And, he ends up playing 41 minutes in today's game, which was really surprising to me. Man, if I'm Coach Malone, I'm sitting Nikola Jokic tomorrow night, no matter what. Why would you play him tomorrow night? Clearly his elbow is bothering him, and it's a shooting elbow. So that's just that's not a good sign for the Nuggets and Joker. Aaron Gordon, right calf tightness is what he was out with. Man, that's a bummer. Aaron Gordon just cannot catch a break this year. He's twists his ankle in Milwaukee, misses a bunch of games. He's been in and out of the lineup with a calf injury all year. Now, I don't know what calf tightness really, like how, affected he will be by that. But anytime you're talking about Aaron Gordon's calf, this is something he's been dealing with all season long. And honestly, the Nuggets really need to look at this with Aaron Gordon and consider shutting him down for the rest of the regular season. I mean that. Like, they should shut Aaron Gordon down for the remaining 18 games of the regular season just to try to get him as healthy as possible for the playoffs, because clearly this is going to be an issue moving forward unless they sit him out. I mean, that's the only thing they could do at this point to really help him heal that calf injury, is just don't play him the rest of the regular season. And, we'll see what they do. I doubt that the team will do that. But I've been talking about all year, I don't care as much about seeding this year as I do the health of this team going into the playoffs. And look, if this team is healthy and rested heading into the playoffs, I think they at least have a decent chance of beating a team like Oklahoma City in the playoffs. They have a decent chance, no doubt about it. But if Aaron Gordon's out, or, 70% Joker's elbows hurt, they don't have a shot. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. All right, let's get to some of your comments here. Let's see. Evan says the bench is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, the bench was an absolute non-factor today. Zeke Naji, 23 minutes, 3 points. 3 points for Zeke Naji off the bench in 23 minutes. Like, you just no offensive production from the Nuggets bench today. I mean, the only person that I thought actually had a decent game off the bench was Jalen Pickett. And I've been saying for weeks now, I want to see Jalen Pickett get more time. And today was right around what I would like to see. He gets 16 minutes, 3 of 8 from the field, 7 points. I understand that's not great. But I do like how Jalen Pickett runs the second unit. And I've talked about that a bunch this year. So I liked what Jalen Pickett did today. Russell Westbrook had an atrocious game, no doubt about it. 1 of 9 shooting from the field. 1 of 9. He did have 11 rebounds, 5 assists, but the bench was absolutely dreadful today. There's no doubt about it. So, I mean, what else can you say about the bench? Like, what do they do at this point? Peyton Watson, 6 minutes, 0 points, -10. Just simply not good enough. All right, let's keep going to your comments here. My guy Kev says, "Hey DT, appreciate you listening, Kev." Let's see here. Evan, you're being tough on the Nuggets today, and I don't blame you. Nuggets can't even play a shred of defense when they need to. You're paying dudes for nothing. Well, be a little more specific there, Evan. I'm not saying you're wrong. I would just like to specifically, who are you talking about on the defensive end? Look, credit to Malone. I thought he did a good job adjusting in that third quarter. Like I said, they went to that zone defense, and they got, 4 or 5 consecutive stops on the Thunder. So it did bother them, but the Thunder quickly figured that out. And the fourth quarter, like I said, was just an absolute nightmare for the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets just, I feel like they a little bit let the refs get to them, and they were kind of waiting for the refs to bail them out in this game, and they just weren't going to do that. But I did think the officiating was absolutely horrible in today's game. So let's see here. More comments. Oh, Navigator says Nikola is still the MVP over SGA. Look, if you're looking at this season analytically and statistically, Nikola Jokic is the runaway MVP. But unfortunately, that's not how these voters operate. And again, I've talked about this a lot this year. The Nuggets have, other than Friday's game against the Suns that was on ESPN, the Nuggets have really struggled on national TV games. And I think that does play in a lot. And you know, the MVP race is a two-headed race. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic. What happened today was absolutely in favor of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning the MVP, and a lot of voters are going to see it that way. So, you know, it is what it is. Kevin says, "Agreed, DT. The Nuggets need to shut down AG." Yeah, I wouldn't play him the rest of the regular season. Standings be damned. What's more important, being the 3 or 4 seed instead of the 2 seed, or Aaron Gordon being healthy come playoff time, or as healthy as he can possibly be in the next month of this season? I'm telling you, the Nuggets are going to have to really make some hard decisions here with minutes, playing time. Nikola Jokic is playing way too much, in my opinion. I mean, 41 minutes after he played, damn near 50 minutes against the Suns. It's too much. And again, I've talked about Malone at the end of last year admitted that he probably ran this team into the ground. And I've been concerned with that all year. And I understand he's kind of between a rock and a hard place because their bench has been so abysmal this year that I understand in a way that Coach Malone really doesn't have much of a choice because the bench has been so bad. But you've got to figure something out. I mean, no DJ or Saric today, like at all. You know what I mean? You can't play DJ 10 minutes and give Joker a little bit of extra rest. Those are some of the decisions that I find curious, to say the least. Let's see here. Navigator responds and says, "I don't know how you don't award MVP to the first player in MVP history over Wilt, Westbrook, Jordan, to 30-12. Well, no, look, again, I'm with you, okay? The numbers are in favor for Nikola Jokic to win MVP. I totally get that. What I'm saying is the optics matter. Unfortunately, they shouldn't, but they do. And these national TV games, some of these writers, that's all they watch. They don't watch every Denver Nuggets game. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying this is what it should be, but that's how it goes. I mean, the year Joel Embiid won the MVP, Joker had better numbers, and Joel still won the MVP because optically he looked better that season, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I will say if Joker plays tomorrow night, if his elbow's not hurting him too bad, and the Nuggets go out and dominate the Thunder tomorrow night, and Joker has a great game, well, then it's kind of the pendulum could swing back. And there's still enough time for Joker to reclaim being the favorite to win the MVP. But after today's game, I mean, the odds, I would imagine, have shifted greatly toward Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the MVP conversation. I don't think there's any doubt about it. All right, let's see here. And it says, max contract Murray putting up only 17 points is embarrassing. I watched the April 14, 2024 Wolves game, and defensive energy was insane. Where is it now? Where is Murray scoring against good opponents? You're not wrong. Jamal Murray, this was a game today where the Nuggets needed Jamal Murray to be special. Joker's elbow's hurt. Aaron Gordon goes out in the first quarter. This was a game where Jamal Murray had to take over in order for this team to win. 6 of 17 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Look, again, I thought Jamal Murray was very bad to start this game, and he needs to get more aggressive starting basketball games. Plain and simple. He has to get more aggressive. He's way too passive to start games, and it takes him a while to just kind of build momentum up. I've been saying this all year, and I would put that a little bit more on Jamal Murray, but maybe the coaching staff really needs to hammer it home or draw plays for him in the first half of these games, in the first quarter, to get him going, because when he starts games slow, and I mean like not shooting the ball at all, not being involved in the offense really at all to start games, this team struggles, and Jamal ends up struggling. So that's kind of the thing I would say is my biggest concern, non-injury wise right now, is how slow Jamal Murray starts basketball games. That's got to change, and especially in the playoffs. You cannot have that. Jamal has to be aggressive early on in games now, and especially in the playoffs. So we'll see. All right, let's see here. Tom says, it's hard not to let that level of officiating get to you. They were missing obvious calls right in their face. They couldn't even figure out who touched the ball the last few times. Yeah, look, I said this earlier. I thought the officiating was absolutely terrible in today's game. Not only just missed calls, bad calls, but the amount of touchy fouls in today's game was ridiculous. And this is something that the NBA, I really wish they would take a closer look at. It makes it hard to watch these games. I mean, it really does. When the officiating is that ticky-tack foul calling, it's absolutely insane. The Nuggets had, 6 fouls in the first, 4 minutes of the third quarter? I mean, what are we doing here? and you could say on the other side, well, the Nuggets need to be more disciplined and not foul, which is true. But I thought some of those calls were just absolutely ridiculous. But, it is what it is. So tough loss for the Nuggets today. Miles says praying for Joker. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's concerning because Nikola, I'm telling you, he did not look right after that. His outside shooting was definitely affected by whatever's going on with his elbow. In fact, they had him on a close-up when he was on the bench. He had his elbow wrapped and he's motioning it, wincing. oof, that's not a good sign. So if I'm Malone, I'm not playing Joker. I'm not playing Aaron Gordon. At least those two in tomorrow night's game. Really, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. All right, Tom also says the truth is a few of the guys that should be performing on a regular basis are painfully inconsistent at best. I've been talking about that all year. The two most inconsistent guys on the Nuggets are Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., unfortunately. And the bad part about that is you need those two guys to be consistent in order for this team to win a championship. Can they get it going in the playoffs? I mean, we'll see. But you need those two guys to be super consistent all year in order for this team to win a championship, especially Jamal Murray. He's the key. And again, I thought they got away from the two-man game between Jamal and Nikola Jokic today. They need to be running action for those two more often, and especially earlier in games. Where's the two-man game earlier in games? That's something if I'm Coach Malone, my goodness. Run the two-man game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray every single play to start the game, and then go from there. Because that has been proven to be one of the most effective and hard-to-guard duos in the NBA. And they're just not going to that action early enough in games, in my opinion. But look, good fight from the Nuggets in the first three quarters today, and then they just got absolutely blitzed in that fourth quarter. Chet Holmgren gets in foul trouble early on. They kind of tried to attack him a little bit, but I just didn't think they did a good enough job, like really trying to draw that sixth foul. And again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for as bad as he shot from three, he was just 2 of 11, 15 of 32 overall. He definitely came alive in that fourth quarter, and it was just a tough loss for the Nuggets today. But hey, look, the good news is they'll be back tomorrow night. We'll see if Aaron Gordon plays. We'll see if Nikola Jokic plays. If I'm the Nuggets, if I'm Coach Malone, I'm not playing either of those guys tomorrow night. I don't care what the consequences of as far as the standings goes, but not playing either of those guys tomorrow night. But that's going to do it for the post-game show, everybody. Appreciate you listening. Again, the Nuggets fall to the Thunder 127-103. The Nuggets are now 41-23 on the year. They're 19-14 away from Ball Arena, but we'll be back here reacting to Nuggets at Thunder again tomorrow night. Thank you so much for listening to In the Paint right here on Altitude Sports Radio.